Hello, everyone. My name is Jason. I hope you guys are all doing well. At the time of me recording this video, I think we are halfway, if not over halfway, to completing this semester. So I just want to say good job to all of you guys. We're getting there. We can do it. Today, I'll be reviewing a single concept from chapter 6, Perceiving and Interpreting Social Worlds. And I will be focusing on how different factors affect the way we see the world. So here's an overview of what we will be going over. Let's start with this quote from our textbook. Interpreting the world is a complex process of constructing meaning, one that is influenced by many factors. One of these include emotion and mood. Basically, our mood and emotions can distort our perception of reality. Another one is our goals and motivation, meaning our motives can influence our perception and at times ignore others. Next one is our cognitive structures, meaning our upbringing and lessons can affect how we assign meaning to objects and events. And then also interdisciplinary, which is how our past and future decisions will affect how we interpret current situations. So let's start with emotions and perceptions. So basically, if you're very happy, you tend to view the world through rose-tinted glasses. An example is when you're happy, you're more comfortable and perceive things in a more positive manner, and you're even more friendly towards people. Another example is of emotion is when you're very angry. Innocent comments can be viewed as attacks, or even casual comments. You may perceive them as insults, and that might be how you're feeling on the inside right there. So your emotional state can actually affect what you remember. So this is why when you are happy, you may remember random memories where you felt that way. Hence, this is probably why we have that phrase. I haven't felt this way since yada yada yada. And as for negative emotions, when you're in that state in your mind, you are more likely to remember memories that gave you that same feeling. It's kind of like when you randomly remember something embarrassing on the spot, it just hits you out of nowhere. It's similar to that, except it's driven more by whatever emotion you are feeling at that current moment. It can also influence how you reconstruct the past memory. So if you are happy and you bring up a random memory, you might tell it again or remember it again in a more positive manner. And if you're angry or sad, you might recall that memory in more of a negative tone. And similar to what I've been saying is this term from our book, which is mood congruity hypothesis, which indicates that memories are more easily retrieved when there is a match between the emotional state at the time the original memory was formed and the emotional state it was retrieved. And very similar to what I said before, our current mood recalls similar memories involving similar emotions. Moving on, we have motivation and perception. Just basically, individual motivations can affect the way we process information. Motivations that operate outside of our awareness are called automotives. Once goal-oriented behaviors become habitual, automatic processing can take over. A good example of this is when we are driving. After learning this ability, you almost do it seamlessly, like a automotive skill. Basically, when you get in your car after work and then you're just home, you don't really remember that whole travel bit. It just happens. Like your mind is you're so consciously like used to it that you just do it without even thinking. Motivation perception can influence perceptions of situations, and it's likely that motives we are aware of will impact our perceptions. So you can maybe even be technically right when you're saying something to someone in this state, but you are not still seeing the full picture. You have not fully perceived the reality in that moment. So you might have your head in the right place, like, okay, I got this. This is where my head's at right now. You may be susceptible or blind or misperceive things that are also in your face, to lack of a better term, just as the picture right here. Yeah, person on the left is right, but also person on the right is also right. Hope that wasn't that too confusing for that one. So with cognitive structures and perception, this whole section had in the textbook had a lot of great information. So I'm going to do my best just to condense it down just to social cognition, which is the process of using socially defined cognition structures to influence our perceptions. And cognitive structures handed down to us by our cultures, family, people we've been raised by can affect the way we assign meaning to objects and events. So basically, we look at the world with our own eyes, not brand new, fresh eyes. We see it as if we have been taught to see it through the lens that culture has provided us. So some things that tie in with social cognition is how we interpret the meaning of others' messages. It guides our actions, and using it, examining the appropriateness of cognition, we gain some level of control over social situations. And the last one that's pretty straightforward is interdisciplinary. Oh my gosh, I've had a hard time saying that word for me, which is basically past experiences and future expectations can affect how we interpret things that happen to us in the present. Now, we can use our past experiences to always predict how a future event will go, and it can even set our mood for it. But this way of thinking, it does have an advantage of mentally preparing one for something, but it also can be a disadvantage because you may set yourself up for disappointment or ruin a potential, you ruin the experience in your mind before actually attending it. So you basically need to be very cautious with this, although it's good to prepare, what the future comes based off your past experiences, but sometimes it's not always the same thing. It's not always cut and paste with life. So that's why this one is also can definitely impact how we view the world. So in conclusion, factors that affect the way we see the world include emotions and mood, goals and motivation, cognitive structures, and interdisciplinary. So that being said, here's my question for you guys. Have any of these factors influenced how you viewed the world? If so, please share. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a great day.